Welcome, fellow nerds, to this episode of Nerd Shit, hosted by Lord Brad Brad and Riorik, where we discuss all things nerd. Whether it's anime, movies, comic books, video games, Magic the Gathering, or Dungeons & Dragons. If it's nerd, we talk about it. So pull up your favorite chair, pour a glass of mead, and get ready to come and discuss everything nerd shit. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss? Vin Weasel is gone. I had to step away.
Yep. So Vin's done. We talked about Black Adam. We did not talk about a point you had made, though, about that ore, that metal.
Yes, the thing that they made the crown about. Mm-hmm. That supposedly had magic.
Well, and that they were using to create the weapons and all that stuff, yeah.
So it supposedly had magic, therefore the machines were on magic, and somehow it hurt Black Adam, but they didn't explore any of that. They didn't really have any weaponry for him against it.
Yeah.
They used it as a force field one time.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. You know, they are obviously using it to power their hover bikes, but he didn't seem to have any issues taking those down. They used it for the missile, the rocket that he caught, because when that exploded, that hurt him. They were running around with regular guns.
Yeah.
And so I'm not real sure, we've got this force field that's running through the power of the ore. You can't get through that. But how do they know he can't get through that?
Yeah. And I don't get the magic. Like, how is it magic? It just looks like normal superpower type of stuff. Like, it's granted to him by magic, but like, what other magic is there, and how's the rock's magic?
Well, maybe this is kind of like Superman and his kryptonite, because kryptonite wasn't a natural mineral found on Earth. It was part of Krypton that fell to Earth, and Luke Luthor went out and mined or whatever. So maybe this ore, even though there seems to be a substantial amount of it if they're mining it and creating all kinds of things with it, but maybe it has some extraterrestrial origin?
Maybe. I just want to know what other concepts of magic is there besides now you strong, fast, and lightning. Because like in the DC universe, there's that one chick, if she can think it, like her word magic, if she says it backwards, it happens. It's
Weird.
really cool. Oh, she's pretty cool.
What's her name? Do you know?
I would know it if I didn't bring it up.
Well, then we'll worry about it another day.
Yeah, she does stuff with Batman. I know that.
A lot of people do things with Batman.
No, not like that.
Batman's a man whore.
But yeah.
A racist man whore. Because remember, Batman's still racist. We decided that already.
Gotta go after them low incomes people and beat them up. And
well, he doesn't like aliens.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that too.
Somebody made the argument that racism is about, arguing a different race of the same species. Superman's not human. But, if you can be racist against someone because they're, an immigrant, Superman's an immigrant. He's not from where he lives. He's an immigrant. It doesn't matter that he immigrated from another planet. He still immigrated here.
Technically, he also is a different race.
No, he's a different species. But in a way of thinking, a different species is a different race. But, the argument was, well, racism is more applied to a different race of the same species. Like, you're not racist against dogs. You're racist against another human.
So, like, most people that don't like pit bulls aren't technically racist to pit bulls? They just hate them?
You could make that argument, yeah. Maybe Batman just doesn't like all of Superman's species. It doesn't matter what race of Kryptonian he is. Batman just doesn't like them all because they're foreign.
They're foreign. They're all a threat to him.
Yeah. But anyway, let's not get sidetracked here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you on the Black Adam that ore really should have been explored more.
I feel like magic could have been explored more.
Yeah, there's a whole lot more that could have been explored had they not wasted so much time with the Justice Society and the infighting that took place. Because how many times did he fight the Justice Society?
Like 4.
Yeah. They could have spent more time exploring Black Adam, his, I guess you could say, entanglements or conflict with the environment, his past, how that ore affects him, how things transpired to get him to where he is more. And like we were talking about with Van Weasel, the Justice Society is more of a footnote rather than a core action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been a cooler story. But that falls outside of DC's storytelling.
Yeah, good stories.
Yeah, good stories, things that, give you ample background. Shazam had a good story. We knew who Shazam was. We had all of Shazam's background.
We had the background for the villains.
We had the background for the villains. We had the background for the wizard a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We had a more cohesive story. And even though there was fighting taking place, it wasn't all about fighting. 'Cause, I mean, some of the best scenes in Shazam were when he wasn't fighting, like when he was sitting around in the square of the town zapping people's phones to charge them.
Yeah, when he was being a kid with superpowers.
Yeah. And that took away from the action aspect of it, but it developed the character.
It felt more believable and
Authentic, yes.
Yeah, and relatable.
Yes. And Black Adam fighting the Justice Society just because they're like, oh, he's too strong. We got to go beat him up. We're not even going to try and make friends with him. We're just going to go beat him up and capture him.
Yeah, it's, hey,
What?
You're coming with us no matter what. No? What
Yeah.
the heck?
Yeah. Waller's sitting there going, oh, he's too strong. If he has any time to get acclimated, we're not going to be able to stop him. We've got to go get him now before he gets too strong for us. And they should have walked up, and Dr. Fate should have went, too late. I mean, he would have already have known.
Yeah.
And we could have saved that 2 hours of them bickering pointlessly for a higher elevated story.
Yep.
But, I mean, the action scenes and the fighting were fun. They were good. I enjoyed them. But it was at the expense of the story.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked enough about Black Adam.
Yeah.
There's something else we want to talk about.
Yes.
So, do you want me to give some background on this?
Go ahead, because you have more background than I do.
Okay. So, with our podcast, we obviously have an Instagram page. And on our Instagram page, we tend to post out a lot of Magic cards, a lot of our other card games, Pokemon, Star Wars, Dragon Ball, all the different cards that we've got in our collection and different collectibles and things like that. We just post out some of our nerd stuff, right? And gosh, it's been a couple of months now. It's been probably 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was contacted through the Instagram page by someone over in England who is developing a new card game called Dynasty TCG. And they were like, hey, we see that you like, TCGs. That's pretty cool. We're developing one that we think you might be interested in. Would you take a look? Let us know what you think, things like that. And I looked at it, and then I showed it to you. And the first thing that jumped out to me was the artwork.
Yes.
Because as the name Dynasty might suggest to some, as it did to me, when you look at the artwork, it really becomes obvious too that the game has its foundations in ancient China. So when you look at the artwork, it has a very Chinese dynastic feel to it. So we both liked it and thought it was pretty interesting. So I started talking to the young man that's developing it. A very interesting guy. He's he's probably around your age. He's under 30.
Yeah.
Early 20s, I would say. And he's developing this new card game because there's not anything like it out there. He thinks that this has a really interesting potential to it, and it explores his Chinese cultural heritage. So this is something that's very close and personal to him, being that he's of Chinese descent, and the game is based on a lot of Chinese things, Sun Tzu's Art of War, things like that. Mm-hmm. And in our conversations with him, he said that he had some demo decks available that he'd be willing to send out to us to let us take a look at so that we could play and provide feedback since it's still in development. Mm-hmm. And then maybe talk about it on the show or something if we liked it. So I did that, and we got the cards in a couple of weeks ago. unfortunately, with our schedules, we haven't had just a whole lot of time to play dozens and dozens of games yet.
You just don't want to lose again.
I did lose. I'm not gonna lie, but you've been working a lot. I've been working a lot. Your days off, I'm working. My days off, you're working.
Mm-hmm.
You get home late. You're tired and want to go to bed, or I'm working late.
Yeah, I'm usually home between 7 and 8 o'clock, if not past 8.
Yeah. So we've gotten our hands on them, and we've got to play through a few rounds of it.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot. So why don't you talk a little bit about your thoughts with those matches?
So, first of all, we don't have like every card type. So it was mostly just focused on the combat and how the combat works and how some parts of it you could trade cards and all that other stuff. And the combat I thought was fun. I just wish, we had the other cards to see how it would affect it.
Yeah. Well, so and I talked to like I said, the guy that's behind this, whose concept it is. He's not the only one involved. He actually has a team of people that's helping create the lore for it. That's doing a lot of the artwork and card design and things like that. It's just he's kind of the brainchild going, these are the troops that I'm looking for. These are the abilities I'm trying to do. Here's the rules. He's the motivation behind it all.
Yeah.
But he's got other people that are working on different aspect of it. So it's not like it's a one-man show. I mean, this is actually a team of people producing a startup company, more or less.
Yeah.
But I talked to the main man behind it all, and I mentioned to him, the demo decks didn't include everything. And he's like, well, yeah, I mean, these are demo decks. They're meant to just give you a taste.
Yeah.
They're more just to get people to see the cards and to kind of understand how some of it works. But to that same degree, they're also gearing up for their Kickstarter campaign to raise some additional funding.
Yeah.
To move this from development to production. There's costs involved in everything, right? So there's more cards that are being produced, more cards that are being generated by the artists and printers and everything else. There's a whole process you've got to go through just to get one card print made. So some of that's probably also due to the fact that it's in development. It's like playing a demo game on your Switch. You're not going to get the full game. Yeah,
you usually get like a chapter. The animation gets upgraded in the final game. It's the little laggy. Yeah.
And this is kind of the same thing. But I'm like you. There's so many other mechanics that the rule book talks about that we didn't get a chance to explore.
Yeah. But as for people that, aren't super invested in the card game, for like the casual card players, I think this is great. Perfect for a taste. But as for someone, we've both been playing cards for over 10 years.
I've been playing cards for about 30.
Yeah, I was being polite.
There's no secret. I'm old. I don't care.
Well, I've only been playing for like 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're half my age.
Yeah. So we want a little more. If you're going to introduce a concept to us, so you're like, hey, we're experienced, we can figure it out. But for casual people or for like, a demo, I could see this working.
Yeah, I could see this as being just a demo or a sample a set for people that are curious about the game but don't really know much about it. If I was doing playtesting, like hardcore playtesting, I would want a full deck with all the mechanics.
You'd want to test every card to see,
I would want to test all the mechanics. Yeah. Or as many mechanics as could viably be supported by the rules.
Yeah. You don't want like an Annihilator situation from Magic.
If I am demoing that as a new mechanic, you damn right I do.
Yeah, like you don't want a situation like that where they're like, oh crap, we regret this decision. You want to play test it, you want to see it before you actually put it out there, is what I'm saying.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Annihilator. Don't knock Annihilator. But yeah, if I'm doing a major play test, I would like to see multiple deck builds that incorporate a variety of mechanics.
You'd want like each deck basically built around each mechanic or a mechanic or mixed in, because people do mix them in, but you do want to test out the mechanics, see if they at least work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, a variety of different builds. I wouldn't say this deck is going to be based on items. This deck is going to be based on environments. This deck is going to be based on orders. But a deck, okay, this deck contains these 3 orders. This deck contains these 2 orders. This deck contains, So like if I've got 10 order type cards, that among those decks, those order cards are intermixed. So you and I may have the same order card or cards, but not necessarily the exact same deck.
Yeah.
So that we can see how they play in combination with a variety of different cards. But these weren't sent as a play test.
No, these were sent as a demo.
These were the hors d'oeuvres to the main meal.
And it did me wanting more, I'm not going to lie. So it worked. It worked in that way.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see more. I'm curious to see more of the cards. I actually joined their Discord channel, and they post out different things to the Discord, some previews of new cards, information for the Kickstarter stuff, things like that. And it looks like the Kickstarter is going to include some pretty interesting perks. Like, hey, these cards are only available in the Kickstarter. So if you pledge to Kickstarter at this level, you might get, this special card. If you pledge at this level, you may get, another special card or multiple special cards or something like that.
Yeah, cards only for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you want to be broken? Join the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be broken. They could just be different arts too.
Well, and that was the other thing I was going to mention. In talking with Hinchy, the guy behind it all, he was nice enough to show me some of the early concept cards, and they were like hand-drawn artwork.
Oh.
And they look really, really cool to me. And I really liked them. But he said that they did not demo as well. When people looked at them, some of the playtesters didn't like that aesthetic as much. So they went back and we've got kind of these more, computer drawn type artwork, like what you would expect with a lot of cards,
Yeah.
And they look great. I mean, I'm not knocking either version of it, but I'm really hoping that I can find a way to get my hand on some of those hand-drawn looking cards, because they looked really cool to me. And with our Magic the Gathering stuff, we always like those alternate artworks. We always like those special designs.
Oh yeah, like I went out and spent $120 on a dinosaur that was a Judge promo because it's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I have the mentality of a 5-year-old, guys.
and that was what I was telling him. I was like, dude, I hope you still have some of those. Oh yeah, we've still got some. Don't throw those away.
No.
Somebody's gonna want those. Mainly me.
Yeah.
So there's potential there that we may find ourselves with the opportunity to get some alternate art cards that are going to be somewhat rare compared to these.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to have that opportunity because I'm talking to this guy or that we're podcasting. Yeah. I'm just saying I know already that alternate art cards sort of exist.
Yeah.
So we may find, as this moves into production or post-production, that alternate art cards become part of the packs, part of the sets, kind of like they do in Magic.
Yeah.
So,
our cards that we got 2 decks, and each one has like a face champion.
Mm-hmm.
Like mine is Jinzo the Swift, who is just like an infantry unit, and yours was like
Wukong. He's reach.
Yeah, he's one of the spearmen, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's spearmen, horse riders, infantry,
And ranged.
and range. We didn't get any range.
No, I had some ranged.
You did?
I think so.
No, you had the spear people.
I'm pretty sure I had ranged.
Did you have a bow? I didn't have a bow.
Okay, no, I did not have
I
ranged.
thought we didn't. Because if we did, that game would have changed out completely different. I swear.
Yeah. Now, the rules, the thing is, also, the rules are not set in stone at this point. I know I've looked at the rules a few times, and in the conversations I've had with them, hey guys, I'm reading the rule book and this isn't clear to me. Can you provide some clarification? Hey guys, I'm looking at this and this doesn't look right. There may need to be a correction here. But they're really receptive to that kind of feedback while they're in development, which is really cool. And they make updates and stuff. So I know the rules are not exactly bang on. This is
how it's gonna be.
This is the final rule set. But I think the last time I looked at it, they were a lot better. I think they're pretty close to having that locked down.
I will say the one thing with it is they start off with too much life.
Well, and
maybe as things go on and with the ranged unit stuff, it could get a lot easier.
Yeah, and after we played our little sample rounds and stuff with them, you and I sat down and we put together some feedback notes.
Yeah.
And I sent that off to Hinchy, and he read them, and he and I have talked about them. And we even called that out in our notes that, hey, that life seemed like it was a lot. Now, we didn't have a full deck. We didn't have all the mechanics. We didn't have all the card types. Mm-hmm. So we don't know how that's going to influence the game, but depending on what you think the average game length should be, that health may be too high. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of talked about it a little. I haven't seen anything where that's changed. Mm-hmm. So it may be that's pretty interesting, but with the play testing that they've done with more cards, they may see that as a more viable option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's been called out. Yeah. I like I said, I talked to him about it. It was in our notes.
And there's nothing saying anything about house rules. People do it all the time with every card game.
Yeah. But yeah, for the amount of cards that we had in the sample, that was a lot of health.
Oh yeah.
But with a full size deck with a full complement of cards, it may be a whole other ball game. But let's talk about the combat a little bit though.
Yeah.
So with Magic the Gathering, you can essentially have as many monsters as you want on the board. This one, you're limited to only having 15 troops on the battlefield at a time per player.
Yeah, and it's in rows.
Yeah.
Well, I got the sheet right here.
Yeah, you can have what, three rows across 5 columns.
Yeah.
Of troops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can have a maximum of 15 troops in play. And even at that, your troops have
a range.
They have an area of influence. You've got troops that can attack 1 row in front of them, troops that can attack 2 rows in front of them, troops that can attack 3 or 4 rows in front of them, and troops that can attack the entire board. Kind of like in chess. This piece can move one position any direction. The king can go one spot any way. The queen can go as many spots as she want in any direction. The pawn can go 2 spots on its first stop. So I mean, just like chess, where they have ranges that they can move to, you've got creatures that have ranges, or troops that have ranges that they can move and attack. Yeah. So it's kind of like chess with cards.
Yeah, and we're not gonna get into the blocking part where you can that one's a little complicated to explain.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of different mechanics involved in how you can attack. Okay, I'm gonna unite these troops. Which is basically bolstering, or
flanking.
No, it wasn't flanking. Banding, yeah, it's kind of like banding in Magic. And then you've got, the different ways that you can defend and reinforce and retreat. It's very much battlefield tactic
Yeah.
type strategy that you have to deploy.
And we learned that the cavalry is always busted. Even in real war, cavalry is busted. Horses equal power.
Unless you're going against a tank.
Yes, that is true.
And then tanks are superior unless you're going against a plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this game, the cavalry units definitely have the advantage.
As they should, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just it, too, is I think the card balance based on their attack type or troop type really kind of shows that as, oh, this is a mounted troop. They're going to be, stronger than most of your infantry troops. So, but we'll see. I mean, we can't really get into a whole lot because we didn't necessarily get to see a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some things about it that I really like that are pretty simple and easy to keep up with. The fact that you can only have 15 troops on the board or 15 cards on the battlefield, essentially, makes it a lot easier to keep up with. So you're not having to go, okay, well, I've got 37 creatures. I've got to figure out which triggers happen and
which order.
Yeah,
and
which
who's
order.
going at where.
Yeah, so
Who's blocking.
keeping a limited number of troops or a defined maximum number of troops helps to speed things up in that regard.
And they can only go with basically what's in front of them. It makes
Yeah.
things a lot easier to calculate. It's like, hey, it's only this you got to worry about, really.
Yeah, it makes combat a little bit easier. It also makes it a little bit harder, too.
Yeah, because you don't know if they know the other mechanics, if they're going to try the other stuff. And if it backfires on you, you got to wait, and then it's weird. It's complicated.
Again, it's chess.
It's chess, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they could choose to sacrifice it because they have something in their hand for next turn. They're like, I don't care. You took the your creature took the damage, so I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Or as a general, are you willing to sacrifice troops for the next turn or not?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And yeah, so it really makes you think about combat and strategize your combat rather than something like Magic where a lot of times it's, I'm going to throw a bunch of big nasty creatures out and steamroll you, or I'm going to keep throwing out creatures that trigger things that's going to keep you from doing anything to stop me,
In Magic, it's either I'm going to build a giant board and come at you and you're all dead in one turn, or I don't even have to attack you and the game's over.
Yeah. So like with Magic, one of the decks that we built for me recently, Ninfect.
Yeah.
I'm just going to swing at you. You can't block it. Doesn't matter how many creatures you have on the board. I'm going to hit you one time and you're dead. We've yet to see any card with a mechanic that would give you that level of power.
Yeah.
So it's definitely more focused on the strategy, more focused on troop v troop rather than I'm gonna exploit this.
Yeah.
Because that's really what I'm doing.
Yeah. So it's what everyone does.
Well, my decks aren't tournament legal. Most of my cards that do the crazy stuff, are banned.
Yeah. And because of that, we now have to deal with proxies. Thanks.
You're welcome. So, but it's interesting. The Kickstarter kicks off soon. Hopefully this podcast goes live before the Kickstarter launches, but I want to say the Kickstarter launches November 1st.
Say, even if it does kick off a little after.
Yeah, you should still have time to get to it.
Yeah.
But if you're really curious about the game, and I really think everybody who likes card games should at least take a look at it, it's DynastyTCG.com. DYNASTYTCG.com.
It's the first thing that shows up on Google. I know that because I do it.
So, and they've got
a lot of art.
Ton of information on that website.
Yeah.
There's a lot of art. You can download and look at the current rule book. They've recently released some gameplay tutorial videos on YouTube. I know that they've been released. I saw it in the Discord channel, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. And it was created not necessarily specifically because of our feedback, but it was created to address, different questions that they had received, some of which were some of the questions we had to. Whether or not we were the only ones that asked that question or not, I don't know, but they did say, yeah, some of the stuff you talked about was addressed in there, so make sure you watch it and see if that clarifies for you. So they are very proactive in trying to do things. I mean, I remember looking through their website and I clicked a link and it didn't work one day, and I just sent the guy a message going, "Hey man, I'm trying to look at this on your website, but my link's not working." 15 minutes later, "Hey, try it again. I think I got it fixed. Sorry about that." So they're actively working on this thing all the time.
It truly is a passion project.
Well, it's a passion project.
It's something they really want. It is a job, but it's something they're truly passionate about.
Yes, and there are groups in the U.S. that are working with him. He's out of London, but I know there's some people in Florida. I know there's some people in Missouri, Kansas, something like that. And they're going around to some of these different conventions and game expos and things like that, promoting the game, demoing stuff, doing play tests. So it's not just him talking to people over in the UK and getting their feedback. Yeah. There's some people in the US that are doing it too.
Are we allowed to post the pictures on Instagram and show them, or no? Is that part of an agreement we did with them?
I'll double check and ask him if it's okay that we post the
We could just post just the face card in the backs and what they look like, and that we did that maybe.
Well, I know he's posted some of the cards out on his Instagram channel, and I know they post them out on the Discord channels.
Yeah,
I mean, and like we said, we found a lot of card art on the website.
Yeah,
so I don't think there'll be a lot of issues with it, but I'll double check with him.
I know that some people are like, don't do that, but if on our Instagram, because that's how he found us.
Yeah. So
maybe if we posted something on it, we get more word out.
Yeah, and he's very open to spread the word of mouth. Raise awareness, and that was kind of one of the reasons why he reached out. Is you guys like to play card games, y'all talk about them a lot. Check this out, and if you like it, talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so far, we've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
we kind of take stabs at the sample because it doesn't give us enough.
We want more.
Yeah, and that's really it. It intrigues us enough that we want more, and we're disappointed we don't have more because the game's still in development.
Yeah.
So don't take our complaints as a negative against it.
No.
What do you expect? It's in development.
Yeah, it is a demo. It was fun. We wanted more. We wanted we want to see the other stuff that he has.
And I don't know if this is changing with the Kickstarter launch or not, but if you find them on Instagram, and Instagram I think is Dynasty TCG or Dynasty _TCG. I'll make sure I tag them in the post for this podcast when it drops, so everybody can find it in the descriptions and on our Facebook and Instagram posts. But if you find him on Instagram, he technically has Instagram and Facebook, but he's definitely more active on Instagram.
Younger generation. That's
exactly it. But if you reach out to him, there may be some of these demo packs available. I don't know. Like I said, when the Kickstarter goes live, if he's gonna have these available for other people that are interested, or if he's gonna hold on to these because of the Kickstarter and offer them as one of the things you get for pledging. I don't know.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about, asking him for stuff because, as an author yourself, people are trying to get free books from you all the time.
Yeah, but I give away my books intentionally.
I know, but
yeah, it's different. I mean, I did have a guy, I posted out on Facebook, hey, look, I'm giving away free ebooks.
Yeah.
if you want a free ebook, let me know. I will show you where to download it. I've got it available in all these different formats, so it'll fit your favorite reader.
Yeah, and he wanted the real book. And
Yeah,
like,
he
no,
wanted a real book, and he argued with me over it. And I'm like, dude, I don't have any real books right now to send you because I'm giving away the digital books.
Yeah.
Well, I'll wait. Well, you're going to be waiting a long time because I'm not going to send you one. I'm giving away the free books. I'm not giving away physical books. If you want a physical book, you can buy it off of Amazon and they'll ship it to you right away. Or if you want to pay me this money, I'll order you one from the printer, basically, hand sign it and do some stuff with it and ship it to you. But that's going to take 2 months from where you are, because it was a guy that was in another country. He wasn't even in the U.S.
God.
And he was like, well, I don't want to pay that. I just want it to be free. Well, I'm not going to do all that for free. It costs me money to get those books. And then you want me to ship it to another country. That's going to cost me a fair chunk of change.
Yeah.
I'm not going through all that, because he was like, I'll give you a review. Dude, the people that get the books for free give me reviews. Why do I need to spend 30, 40, 50 bucks shipping a book across the oceans to another country for something that other people will do for free? I'm giving away free books. Why can't you just take what I'm giving?
Yeah.
But no, he wanted more. It was kind of one of those give an inch, take a mile type situations. And I finally just told the dude, no, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. So that's what I was just worried about with you just saying that.
Well, and I'm not saying that if you hit him up, he's going to send you free stuff.
Yeah. Don't expect that.
Yeah. I'm saying that these came shrink wrapped.
Yeah.
So there's the possibility that there may be some pre-built sample decks that he may still have that he's not holding back for Kickstarter or something else. And he might be willing to say, hey, yeah, you can buy a sample pack.
Yeah, okay. You can buy a sample pack. Yeah.
You can get a sample pack. This is how much it's going to cost. Where do you live? I'll let you know how much the shipping's going to be, whatever. It never hurts to ask.
Yeah.
But don't ask for free.
Yeah.
If you start banging on him, asking him to give you free shit, I'm going to be really pissed off. Because,
right.
the dude's trying to start up a company. He's trying to make something. You can't make anything by giving everything away. Mm-hmm. How do you think he pays the artists? How do you think he pays the writers?
Doesn't he also have to pay to keep the domain for his internet, for his website too?
You've got to pay for your web domain, but generally, that's like an annual thing.
Yeah. You still got to pay for everything.
You've got to pay for everything. You've got to pay to have the printer print the cards. You've got to pay for the shrink wrapping. You've got to pay for the shipping. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this development, and it all costs money. So calling this dude up and asking him to give you free shit just because you heard us talk about it on a podcast is really fucking rude. You can ask him, hey, I heard about this card game and these sample packs. Do you have any that you would be willing to sell me?
Yeah.
And that might be something good, and he might ask some questions. He may not just sell it to random collectors that are going to stick it in a box. One of the reasons he reached out to us is because we play.
Yes. He
gave it to us so we could play. Well, I'm not even going to say he gave it to us, because, I actually gave him money. Mm-hmm. I paid for him to ship it from London to Texas. Why should he have to do all that stuff on his own?
Yeah.
He reached out and asked us to play test it and to talk on it about it, but come on. That's cool. Ship it across the ocean for free. I'm not that guy.
No.
So I didn't get this 100% for free either. But he may ask, well, what all do you play? How often do you play? How many people do you play with? And he may only be interested in giving these to play groups, or to selling them, making them available. Let me choose my words more carefully.
Yeah.
He may only be willing to give these, to make these available to play groups.
We want you to have a group and tell us how it is. We just don't want to...
Active players that can play this, provide feedback, that would be willing to, get involved in doing stuff to help them with the development. Because I was talking to him nearly daily for a while work and everything has kind of slowed down that communication, but he's very active, and if he knows that you've got cards or that you're playing stuff or working on stuff, you know, he likes to know, you know, what are your thoughts and where are you at? And that is amazing to be able to have that level of input and feedback in something pre-release. I mean, I used to do a lot of beta testing for video games, even after I left Midway. And yeah, I mean, I could play games all day long, and I could go online and I could report bugs every once in a while. You know, a forum administrator or developer might come on and ask me about something that I reported, or tell me that they had issued a fix for that bug, and for me to, you know, double check and make sure that it was fixed, things like that. But his level of involvement is on another level, and I can't tell you how impressive that is. But we'll look at getting some of these cards posted out. I'll ask him about that tonight or tomorrow. Well, I'll say tonight. If I ping him right now about it, it's in the middle of the night over in the UK. But I mean, he's usually good. If I post something and it's late over there, he'll usually reply the next day.
Was he born in the UK? Do you know? Or I think he said he was from, and he's doing school in the UK.
Well, he's in college in the UK. I want to say he was either born in the UK or he's been in the UK a while.
All right. Does he have the accent?
When you talk to him, yeah, he does have something of an English accent.
All right.
You know,
I haven't spoken to him. It's only been you.
I'm not. I don't want to say this and sound racist, all right? So, if we go and we talk to people that were born in Mexico, because I mean, this is Texas. We've got a lot of Mexican base, you know, people from Mexico living here, right?
Oh yeah.
So if we go and talk to somebody that was born in Mexico and moved to Texas later in their life, you can tell that they're from Mexico. You know, they don't have that American enunciation.
Yeah.
You know, but if you talk to their children who were born in America and spent more time here, even if the children speak Spanish, you can when they speak English, you can still tell that they were more Americanized.
Yeah.
And in talking with him, he sounds more England than Chinese in the accent. So if he wasn't born in England or in Europe, he's been there a while.
All right. I just wasn't sure if that was like, I know that he wanted it to be from his heritage. I wasn't sure like if this was stories, probably still from his childhood, but like from China that when he was there, or is this just something like his parents and grandparents told him?
You know, I'm not.
Or if he just went on the internet and said, "This is who I am. I like these stories." I just wasn't too sure.
Yeah, I don't know the level of detail, and he and I may have discussed it in the early stages of our communication. I just don't remember it offhand.
No,
I'm old, so I mean, half the time I don't remember what I did this morning.
No, you're good. I just wanted to know like his level with the dynasty itself. I just wanted to know.
Well,
I'm just curious.
You know, he wanted to make a new card game because he thought that there were mechanics and techniques that could work as an improvement to the genre. You know, because most games are build up this massive army and just slaughter each other kind of thing, and it wasn't tactical from a battle perspective. You know, I mean, you could get tactical from, you know, okay, I'm gonna build my deck around this theme, you know, like, okay, I'm going to have land go boom, or I'm going to have it so that every time I play a creature, you know, something's going to happen, you know, Warstorm Surge, or I'm going to use slivers and it's just going to constantly trigger all this crap off, or I'm just going to have infinite combos.
Yeah, and for like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, if it's not done by round 2, something bad happened.
Yeah.
Because most games in Yu-Gi-Oh, done by round 2.
Yeah.
If it's not, something stupid happened.
And so he wanted to reinvent. I guess reinvent's not really the right word. He wanted to introduce a new style of thought to how combat would work. You know, he wanted to take a more strategic, more tactical view to it. And being Chinese or Chinese heritage, you know, he was familiar with the Three Kingdoms Dynasty
Journey to
in
the West.
China.
Because the card, your face card's based off of Journey to the West.
Yeah. And he listed off a number of different influences how this worked. Journey to the West, the Three Kingdoms, Sun Tzu's Art of War. I can't even remember some of the other things now. So being Chinese, or having Chinese heritage, there's not another game based on China.
Yeah.
So he was like, that's a unique world to build a card game in. It has a lot of historical lore already and mythology attached to it, and then it opens up this world to do more, to expand on that and create our own lore and some of our own mythology.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how this came about, which was really neat, because if you think about it, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Star Wars, Star Trek, Dragon Ball Z, they're not based in any real form of reality.
Yeah.
This is inspired by real historical eras, real historical types of combat, and that's refreshing to me. So,
I'm with you there.
Well, one of these days, you and I need to revisit our card game, though.
Yeah.
Because in addition to all the other stuff we do, a few years ago, we started putting together a card game that was based off of history.
It was.
Each set was going to be a different era, more or less, of history, focused on certain regions or certain timelines, and all the cards would be based on that. So as the sets progressed closer and closer to modern times, the cards would get stronger and stronger, because in reality, in history, as we advanced through time, the troops got stronger and stronger, and as technology came about, we weren't fighting with wooden spears and rock.
Yeah, we
rock
were fighting with
arrows.
Cocaine and flamethrowers at one point.
Yeah, but yeah. But we went from rocks to copper to steel, to guns
to flamethrowers and cocaine.
To flamethrowers and cocaine, to tanks and stealth bombers, space weapons and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of our concept, is as we moved through time, the troops would be getting increases and increases and increases.
Until we got our cocaine flamethrower.
Yep.
Going against a guy with we had the flamethrowers. Going against a guy with a shotgun going through the trenches.
Not
Sounds
sure.
like Germany, World War I, hated shotguns. Tried to get them banned. Thought it was really bad, and America was like, "You're the one using gas."
Yeah. Well, and that was actually funny. I know I'm kind of swinging off topic of cards here, but you brought it up when you brought up history. So after World War I and the gas and everything, Hitler actually was gassed in World War I. Spent some time in a field hospital, was partially blinded for a while and all that kind of stuff. So he thought chemical warfare was bad. For somebody that was willing to kill 6 million Jews just because they were Jews, he actually had a pretty hard stance against chemical warfare, which is funny. We're going to gas the Jews to kill them, but we're not going to use chemical warfare on the battlefield.
Because he realized that can hurt yourself.
Well, no, I think it was because he thought that if we open Pandora's box to that on the battlefield, what are they going to use in retaliation? Because if we use chemical warfare, they're going to use chemical warfare. Mm-hmm. But to Hitler, Jews weren't people, so it wasn't that big of a problem to gas them, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, the Germans, World War I, hated shotguns, and were like, that's against the rules of war, you can't do that. And the other countries were like, you're using gas. And
bite me.
Bite me, yeah. So they really did try to get rid of shotguns. So shotguns were OP in the World War I.
Yeah. And what was weird is Hitler had such a strong stance against it that toward the end of World War II, when things started going south, he was telling his people, that's fine, go make chemical weapons, see what you can do. We got to figure out something. Because, he saw the writing on the wall, I think, before he was willing to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
But... Yeah, we blew everything up before chemical warfare and World War II really took off.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, instead we just got nukes.
Yeah. Well, you think that's enough for the day?
Yeah, I think that's going to be enough for the day. You know, like I said, we'll try and post out some pictures, but definitely go check it out. Keep an eye on Kickstarter. You know, follow Dynasty's Instagram page because I'm sure he's going to post some stuff out on that.
Yeah. And speaking of nukes, I know you don't know about the Demon Core, but it was supposed to be used for like the center of a nuke, and you should look into it. And I know a lot of people like my age know about the Demon Core.
The Demon Core.
It was a science project that that was supposed to be used for like radiation and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And a professor, one of the stories about it, one of them, the biggest one, is the professor was using a screwdriver to hold the lid on, so whenever it fell, you know, it caused a little like burst of radiation. And he had a bunch of students come in one day, and as they were holding it, and he had someone hold it while he was doing something, and the screwdriver slipped, and it was like, well, I'm dead. It was dead in 7 days.
Ouch.
Yeah. As soon as it hit... No, he was the one holding it. Yeah. But yeah, the screwdriver slipped, and he already called it the moment it happened.
So, you say that, but in reality, he probably went to the hospital and went, dude, I got hit with some major radiation.
Oh, no, he knew it.
and the hospital called the Army, and the Army whisked him away to some bunker, and he, quote unquote, died.
Oh.
But he was really the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
We're going to hold on to that. That's going to be our running theory now. You know how I am about conspiracy theories. I love them. They're fantastically retarded.
Yeah. No, he didn't die in his bed in his room. That's just the story they tell you.
Yeah.
I think like other people in that place also got radiation, but not enough to actually kill him.
No, and that's how they became She-Hulk.
Oh. Oof.
But let's call it there. What do you say?
Yeah. No, you're good. I just want people to know about the Demon Core.
Yeah. So you've piqued my interest. I'm going to have to go check that out.
Oh, yeah. There's like YouTube documentaries that are pretty good on it. I'm not going to lie. I watched one.
So, yeah. So go check out Demon Core after you check out Dynasty.
Yeah, of course. In that order.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, until next time, I don't know what we've got planned for our next go-round. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
It'll be a surprise, so stay tuned.
It'll be a surprise to us.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise to us, just like it's a surprise to y'all. This is the fun of being unscripted.
Yeah. And then after that, for sure, it's probably going to be Pokemon, because the new games will be out by then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll definitely be out by the time we get something else. Well, no, because Pokemon's not due out for 3 weeks, and I want to try and get another episode out in 2.
I thought this one.
Well, this one's going out ASAP.
Oh.
Because we're at our 2-week mark from the last one.
Oh. Okay, it's still going to be after the next one then.
Well,
it's in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, we got the next. And then
no.
it gives us a week to play Pokemon.
No, because we'll drop this one ASAP, and then we need to get another one recorded to drop in 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. It's after the next one.
Yeah, so it's not going to be the next episode that we talk about Pokemon.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the next after the next one. I was saying.
Okay,
so it gives us a week to play, and I won't be that far into it.
You're killing me. So yeah, and then we're going to have to gear up for Fire Emblem,
which is in 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing Dragon Quest beforehand though. Big fan.
That's December, right?
Yeah.
And that's Dragon Quest Builders?
No.
Or Warriors?
Treasures.
It's
like the Dragon Quest Monster series, which I played on the DS. And Jordan doesn't like it because it's not turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to enjoy it just because I love the Monster series.
Okay. Well, I'm going to spend December playing Pokemon.
I will too.
Oh, you're going to spend part of December playing Pokemon and part of December playing Dragon Quest.
You're right. I probably won't have either of them beat.
And that's why I'm only going to play Pokemon, so that when Fire Emblem drops, I'll be ready to cut over.
I want to be real honest. You can give me 6 months before Fire Emblem came out, and I still wouldn't know if just playing Pokemon if I could have it beat in time.
I know. Well, you don't have as much time to play right now still. Maybe next year will be better.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah. So anyway, go check out Dynasty, then go Google Demon Core. And if you haven't watched Black Adam, go, you missed it. You left yesterday. Before we end, we've got to go through this.
Okay.
So, in our last episode, we were talking about what Brendan Fraser movie Black Adam's going to rip.
Okay.
You were thinking Sinbad, Vin Weasel was thinking Monkey Bone, and I was saying Encino Man.
Okay.
He and I already chatted about this, and I think I made a pretty good case for Encino Man.
Oh, okay. I think I got you. Go.
What's your thought?
I want to hear your Encino Man thing, because I've only seen Encino Man once.
All right. So, Encino Man was buried in the ground for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Black Adam was buried in the ground for thousands of years. Encino Man was uncovered and defrosted by a couple of nerds that were being bullied, weren't very popular. They were being oppressed in high school.
Oh.
Black Adam was uncovered by a family that was being oppressed in a dictatorship civilization.
Whose mom was a nerd.
Black Adam defended them using unparalleled strength. Encino Man defended them using crazy strength and acrobatic skills that they didn't realize a caveman possessed. Mm-hmm. You know, so he was superior to modern Homo erectus or Homo sapiens. Sorry,
I say no homo.
No homo. He was superior to modern Homo sapiens. Okay.
I think the new thing they say now is pause. No, keep going.
People came in to stop Black Adam, right? You know, he had to fight people who were trying to, you can't do that. You can't be their champion. You can't protect them, you know, all this kind of stuff. Well, people were trying to shut down Encino Man. They both had to fight for their ability to protect those around them that were important to them. Mm-hmm.
I don't know which character Brendan Fraser played in that movie.
Encino Man.
No, in Sinbad. But it's pretty similar. I already know. But it was animated, so I feel like most of Black Adam was animated.
No, it was CGI. That's different.
No.
Now, I will say this. When Black Adam first emerged, he had to take some time to become acclimated to the future. He was confused by certain things.
No, you're right.
Encino Man was confused by certain things.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Sinbad. Because, you know, it looked terrible.
Yeah, just the animation on it looked bad. But I think it's Encino Man.
All right. Still, The Rock still ripping off Brendan Fraser. Got it.
Yep. Now, Vin Weasel tried to make some arguments about Monkey Bone. And I said, well, okay, I can see where some of those elements could correlate. So maybe he took a couple of Brendan Fraser movies and mixed them all together so that he got tired of everybody saying that he was ripping off Brendan Fraser.
So he ripped off more of them.
Well, no. Because instead of doing a direct rip movie by movie, if you take elements of this one, elements of that one, and elements of this one and mix them together, it's less obvious.
Oh.
Yeah. So we talked about that possibility too. So maybe it's all three.
Sinbad probably had magic in it.
Maybe.
I'm not going to watch the movie.
Encino Man did not have magic. It was magical to watch back in the day, but it did not have magic.
The acting was the magic.
Oh, the acting was so fun.
All right, now we're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're going to say end. No, we've got to sign off. That's fantastic.
Oh, now we end it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Nerd Shit. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/LordBradBrad to see when new episodes drop. Or you can find our channel on YouTube. Just search Lord Brad Brad and look for our logo. You can listen to all of your favorite episodes of Nerd Shit directly from our website, www.lordbradbrad.com, where you can also learn a little bit more about us and the products we use and reference on the show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to donate to the show, we gladly accept donations at ko-fi.com/LordBradBrad. That's coffee, spelled ko-fi.com/LordBradBrad. Or you can just click the link at the bottom of our website. If you have any comments on anything discussed in this episode, or would like to suggest a topic you would like to hear us talk about in a future episode, hit us up on our Facebook page. Again, that's facebook.com/LordBradBrad. Until next time, this is Riorik signing off and telling you to keep doing that nerd shit because you know we will.